was thinking about it. There it is. We are live, 3 seconds in. Greetings, everybody. Good to have you with us. Glad you could join us a little bit early here tonight. And I think that was it. The Chefs are playing tonight. They playing somebody?
Yeah, they're playing the Jaguars down in Jacksonville.
There you go. All right, no undefeated teams left this year. All right,
that's right.
Yeah. That was Buffalo got their season put to an end last night. Badass is aboard. Welcome, Badass. Glad to have you. Our resident photographer. All right. So there's that. There's that. I got to find the media, and then we're going to go. Notes. Notes. Notes are set.
Welcome, Dizzy.
Welcome indeed, Dizzy. There we go. Media assets, and we are. After the music fades, it'll be to you, Cobra-31.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
This here is a true story about crossing the pond at night in the world's smallest cockpit on the tanker through the weather. Oh, and to the tanker crew who did that, thanks a lot. We really appreciated that. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. Well, there I was, crossing the pond, and you could see that I wasn't exactly fun.
So there I was, breaking hard left, coming out of a gun run, suppressing enemy fire so the friendlies could withdraw, when I heard the unmistakable sound of a bullet piercing the cockpit, going through my legs and blowing my body parts on the inside of my canopy. And I wondered immediately, whose could those be? They couldn't possibly be mine, because I am a 21-year-old helicopter pilot, and sadly, I was mistaken. They were mine, and so began the beginning of the end of my final flight as a Cobra pilot in Vietnam.
Oh,
holy
so
shit!
Bulletproof. Holy shit, indeed.
Well, I thought I was.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That is how a terrifying aviation tale begins. Greetings, everyone. Repeat here, coming to you from New Hampshire tonight. Where's my co-host?
I am blessed enough to be at home for another day and in God's country, so to speak, which is in the same neighborhood almost as our guest tonight, that I have the pleasure of actually meeting him in person on Saturday.
Nice.
Cobra-31, welcome to So There I Was.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
That's that is a the hair on my arm stood up.
All right.
When you delivered the So There I Was, it's like, oh shit. I did not see
folks.
that
Can't
coming.
get better from here.
I did not see that coming that fast.
They all start that way.
Well, there's that, right?
So there I was.
Yeah.
Nothing. Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So
I left
it also
out the
starts.
commies to the. I'm sorry. I left out the commies to the left of me and commies to the right of me part. So.
That's outstanding. So where
both directions.
Where did that aviation bug start for you? Where and when? What got you into flying?
Well, as a brilliant 19-year-old young man in Duluth, Minnesota, who had just been summarily dismissed from the University of Minnesota after maintaining probably the world's record lowest cumulative GPA, I went from a 2S to a 1A, when a 1A is fodder and 2S is a student deferment from the draft. And I had a notice in a matter of days for my physical, and I could see the writing on the wall. So I immediately went down to the federal building and paraded across all the military, because I was going to fool them. I wasn't going to get drafted. I was going to fool them at their own game and join. And so I went into the Army recruiter, and they said, you need college to fly with the rest of these guys, but we have a program for high school graduates. You could be a helicopter pilot.
Right
and
on.
I said, what are the qualifications? And they said, well, here, let me put a mirror under your nose. You exhale. Ooh, you're fogged up. Good. Good. You start on Monday.
Didn't even take you
don't-
2 tries.
Hold on. Hold on. Oh my gosh. Okay. So were you a freshman in college when, is that the end of like your freshman year?
I was a freshman for quite a while. Yeah.
Oh, even better.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're on at least the 5-year plan. So
I was one of the finest card players in the student union.
okay.
So is that the Army Warrant Officer program?
That's exactly what it was. Yep.
Okay. What year was that, sir? What year did all this go down?
I joined in 1968.
1968.
60.
That's
All right.
That's outstanding.
So, all right. So you decided to go Army, go in the flight program, and you said you were in Duluth, Minnesota?
That's hometown.
But they sent you to where for basic?
Basic training was Fort Campbell, Kentucky.
Okay. So there's a little bit of culture shock going on there, crossing the Mason-Dixon line, right?
Oh, well, my first flight was on Ozark Airlines from Minneapolis to Nashville.
That was your very first flight?
Yep, and then a bus, yeah. Yeah. Not that a recruiter would ever lie to a young man standing in front of him.
No.
But they said, flight school is full at this moment. A fact now that I probably shouldn't have believed. He said, but you should go into the Army helicopter maintenance program.
Oh, that's helpful.
Because the maintenance school is taught at Fort Rucker, Alabama. And then once you're there, you keep your nose clean. You apply for flight school on the inside of the Army. You'll be a known quantity, and you'll get into flight school that way. And I said, oh, okay. Oh, sure. Good idea. And away I went.
Did it actually work like that?
It did.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Because I thought this was going to be a long, oh, shit story, that part of it.
Oh, no,
So it actually worked.
It did and it didn't. I had orders. I completed the maintenance program, did just fine. And I had orders for Vietnam as an E4 maintenance guy.
All right.
And I'm on leave. Interesting that the military would call your leave before deployment a terminal leave. But that's what it was.
Oh, yeah.
My father was in the local Air National Guards, a World War II pilot. And see the P-51 over my shoulder.
I had spied that already. Is that what he flew?
He did. He flew P-38s in World War II.
Okay.
He flew P-51s when he joined the Guard in 51. I think the first aircraft they got was P-51s.
Okay.
And so he had a World War II buddy in town who had a Ford dealership. And so my father rented me a red Mustang convertible for the 30 days. Okay. And I'm 2 weeks into that leave when the phone rings, and it's Fort Rucker telling me your leave is canceled, your slot is available, and you got to be at Mineral Wells, Texas in 3 days.
Start flight training.
Mustangs, yeah.
Start flight school. That's it. That's
it. That car back.
turned in the car with reluctance, and entered flight school, and that's how it started.
Fantastic. So, I'm trying to follow your path though. So you were enlisted, you're a private, you go through boot camp. How does the warrant officer program work so as to get you into flight school? Because you have to be a warrant officer to be in flight school, right? You graduate as a warrant officer. Oh,
and an aviator. So you're at a temporary rate of an E5 when you're in flight school as a candidate, warrant officer candidate, WOC.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so we went in as E5s. We flew half a day, and then we had training the other half of the day on how to be an officer.
A whole half day? Damn. We didn't get that.
I think the Army thought that we warrants needed a little extra help.
Fantastic. All right.
Get a little more
Well,
polish.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
now
I'm
this
gonna
is-
put up
this
a
is-
quick picture here of
boy.
someone pinning someone's bars on.
That's my father swearing me into the military on stage, pinning my warrant officer bars on me. And that is one of the proudest moments of my life.
As it should be.
You look like you're like 14 years old in that picture.
Yeah, you do.
Oh my gosh.
Almost 14.
My nickname in flight school was Boy Aviator.
As it should be. That's cool.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
very cool. And so your dad, did he retire as a light colonel from the Air Force?
No, he retired as a full colonel.
Full colonel.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Well,
Went
Sierra
to,
Hotel.
Yeah, went to flight school to learn how to fly, how to convert, transitioned into jets. I got an F-94. My dad took my wife, his wife, my mother, and me down to Florida for transition school, and they did that as a guard member. They did that in 2 separate summers, and then he just flew different jets until he retired. When he retired, they got the F-16. My father's mad he retired too soon, so he couldn't fly the F-16.
Because the F-94 looks like a bastardization of the T-2, and I would say the B-47. It's a straight wing
big
with tip
plane.
tanks
Yeah.
and tandem. Yeah.
It's like the T-33. It's like except
Okay,
it's a
yeah.
much larger, with the tip tanks and
So,
Gotta look that up.
yeah.
okay. Yeah,
He
I
jammed-
just did. That's a gangly looking jet, kind of a straight wing. I mean, have a little fun with it, but yeah. So that is so cool, and to be second generation like that with your dad, and that's awesome. So, boy candidate or warrant officer candidate, sorry, boy pilot, off to flight school. What kind of a sip from the fire hose was flight school like for you, having never flown before?
Learning how to hover was the first job, and the theory was if you could hover inside a football field on your first day, you showed promise. it was an exercise in overcorrecting,
Yeah.
and we were swinging all over the place. And then they'd get mad and they'd say, "I've got the aircraft. You give up the controls." And they put their finger on the top of the of the cyclic and just hold it there. So see, this is all you need to do.
It ain't that fucking hard,
No,
right?
no,
Yep, it
exactly.
is. So
Exactly,
in the
yeah,
background, I don't know if you noticed, Sticks joined us tonight. He's producing in the background for us, and he's head from the Coast Guard, and he gloats about that shit all the time. Hovering's not that hard, and it wasn't actually in the Harrier. It was, it wasn't within a football field. It came relatively easy. Of course, we had Stab Og to help us in the early days, but
No.
Yeah, we didn't have 1,000 or maybe was it 10,000 moving parts
trying to rip our airplane apart,
going every direction. No, it was nice and smooth.
all at the same
and
time.
everything.
Yeah,
So
Yep.
there's a little difference there.
absolutely. So
Now
okay.
we had some fixed wing pilots who had training in flying
Okay.
light aircraft, and they could and 2 of them washed out of flight school. It was
Stumped them.
painful. They were good guys. Well, it was the third element. It was the yaw control,
Okay.
because your collective runs forward and backwards and sideways, and then I'm sorry, the cyclic did, and the collective on the left hand side was a twist grip, and you twisted in the fuel as you pulled up and put pitch in the wings or in the blade, so you could take off. And then when you get light on the skids, you've got to apply left pedal, because otherwise you're going to be spinning in the opposite direction of it. And that third element was difficult for some of the pilots to deal with,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Now, I can only imagine, because it is, like you say, an exercise in, 4 dimensions at least. But let me ask. I want to actually ask a question of Fig. Do you find yourself using the rudder more in an airliner than your compadres?
Well, yes,
Yeah.
and it's not always a good thing.
No, not necessarily, but the fact is, the AV-8 Harrier was an airplane that you better have your damn feet on the rudders and be applying pressure. And so I think I freaked out more first officers because I used the rudder in an airliner, and those guys are practically flat feet on the floor throughout.
Yeah.
Something that helo guys could never get away with either. So
Oh, geez, no.
no. So
No. You come in. I took an Air Force weatherman for a ride one day in the front seat of the Cobra, and we're coming back in to refuel, and I came in too fast, and in order to slow down, pull back, and now you've got to correct the yaw. You put your foot in the left pedal and you put it to the floor, and you're still spinning because I'm too hot. And the poor guy in the front seat, bless his heart, just he's spinning on top of the POL, and the fuel livet, and he's not very happy with me. And so the aircraft did calm down. I was able to and land, and he never asked for another ride.
Yeah, I don't understand. I wonder why.
It's a mystery.
Yeah.
It's a mystery to me.
Bringing the weatherman along. So,
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. So so that was a design flaw of the Cobra aircraft, and so a modification they made afterwards was to put the tail rotor on the opposite side of the tail boom, and that solved that problem.
So, is tail rotor on the left of a Cobra?
It let me check my Cobra
I don't think
models.
I've ever noticed.
Yep.
That it was different.
Mhm.
Okay. Wow. And
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it rotates opposite direction from,
Yeah.
right? Okay. Wow. Never thought about it.
Nope.
So let's back up a minute. Let's go back to boot camp. And what was your biggest ass chewing or the funniest thing you saw in boot camp basic training?
Oh, basic training.
You left your locker unlocked or something. You didn't button your button right. Come on.
We didn't get that until flight school. Warrant Officer Candidate School. Oh, we had a TAC officer. We got demerits. We had inspections. We got total harassment all the time. Now they don't do that anymore. But to answer your question, my buddy John, we had 3 lockers, and they all had to be in line. Everything was in a row. Your socks were wrapped up. Your shoes were polished. But you had a security locker above it.
Okay.
And that's where you're supposed to be neat and clean as well. But we threw all the crap into John's locker, because the inspection's coming and the major's coming.
Yeah.
And he selected John's locker, and he said, "Open this thing up." And John and Major Elliott was his name, and he stood in front of my good friend John, and just reamed him. I have never seen an ass chewing that bad in my life, even from my own father, the colonel. Was paled in comparison to Major Elliott. It traumatized John. He talks about us today. He's a good friend of mine. I talked to him just the other day. He still talks about that.
Oh, an ass chewing for the century, and then beyond. Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. So basic training was pretty easy. AIT, Advanced Individual Training for the maintenance, was pretty easy. We got to flight school, and it was that was. You had to brace every time an officer went by. You braced against the wall. If he addressed you, you answer, "Sir, candidate car, yes, sir."
Okay.
And then you could speak. Oh, geez. We had a dead fly in our room, and he had a grease pencil, and he circled the grease pencil. He circled the dead fly with a grease pencil. And of course, it's concrete block.
Outline, right?
It's concrete block. And he said, "Now you got to clean all this up, by a certain time." Well, we got to take needles and from our sewing kit and dig the crayons out of the crevices of the concrete. I mean, it was just we couldn't figure out just exactly how this is going to prepare us for Vietnam. But that was above our pay grade.
Right? Oh man, no kidding. All right. Well, I guess on to flight school. Any memorable stories from there aside from hovering? What was the hardest thing about flight school?
I can tell you, soloing was. You just don't. In my case, you just don't think you're ready, and the panic when he pulls it down. Yeah, there they are.
Wow.
Those Mattel Messerschmitts. There we are, boy.
Okay, so tell people what I couldn't tell you what airplane that is, but
that is
put a picture.
That's an OH-23, and it's made by the Hillard, and they actually flew those as scouts in Vietnam in the early '60s.
Well, it's well armed with plexiglass and.
Yes, it's high quality plexiglass. Yes, exactly. Yeah, bulletproof plexiglass. I think. Yeah.
Just like the bulletproof warrants are flying it.
Exactly. Yeah, there I am. Notice I have my purple flashlight. Why they were purple is a mystery to me, but it's in my helmet.
And you.
But that was, yeah. When he gets out, he gets out and he says, "You're good. Take it around the pattern." And I mean, the sweat. You are just scared spitless. You're second guessing yourself. You're trying to remember absolutely everything you were told. And you go up to 1,500 feet and turn left and turn down the wind and then back again and land exactly at Chalk 3 where he left you. And he said, "All right, do it again and again." And finally said, "All right, you're ready. You're good."
Wow.
And then the tradition is when you solo, you go to the Holiday Inn in Mineral Wells, Texas, because the flight training was in Fort Walters, Texas, and you get thrown into the pond. That was the tradition. I made the mistake of soloing on the 14th of November.
Oh, so it's a little chilly.
It was a little chilly when they throw you in.
Not a heated pot.
You break the ice. You break the ice with your derriere when they throw you into the.
Now, there's not any alcohol involved in that process, is there?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. But no.
It's because there was ice. Need antifreeze.
You're in the bus. It goes from the flight training back to the barracks. It stops off. It throws you in the pond. So there was primary flight school, which is approximately 4 months, in which you learn, as I said, to be an officer, and then fly, and then you transitioned to secondary flight school back in those days, and that was done at Fort Rucker, Alabama, and that's where your first stop there was in the OH-13, the Whirlybird helicopter, and
okay,
they were for instrument training. We had 25 hours of instrument training, which was just enough to make sure you could turn around and get back out of the clouds if you were silly enough to get in the clouds. So they were blue. We punched a hole in the middle of the card, and we wrote on the back of it, a tactical instrument ticket, and we wrote on the back of it, "Hold this ticket between thumb and forefingers. Hold to sky. If color in the hole is the color in the sky, you can fly. Don't fly otherwise." And there it is. There it is, the H-13.
That looks kind of like a MASH helicopter.
Yes, absolutely.
And or an erector set. The tail boom on that looks like it's put together by a 13-year-old or 3-year-old.
and I have a very good friend by the name of Jim Haslett that flew those as scouts with a machine gunner in the other seat at low level, looking for the bad guys. Drawn flight.
That's just terrifying that they did that. I mean, the Cobra at least is a badass airplane you don't want pointed at you. That thing just looks. It's not intimidating. If one of those is pointing, the Cobra, Sticks just put one up,
What a
That thing looks
beauty.
pissed off coming at you.
What
And
a
that's a
thing of
that's a
beauty, isn't it?
two-bladed one. So that was single engine or twin?
Single.
On the-
Oh no. When
Early
the
was single.
Navy version and the Marine versions, present company accepted, thought more of their aviators than the Army did. And the first thing they did when they got the Cobras is put two engines on.
Give it some power.
To
Well-
save the pilot. Two engines. Yeah. Not the
Well,
Army. No.
Pilot, was a full officer, not a warrant officer. So they needed to add that second engine because that they were worth a lot more than warrant officers.
Yeah,
Apparently.
no, I
Apparently.
wish I had known that because I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna write that down. Yeah. Oh,
Exactly.
geez.
There's
Sticks
the
is
machine
amazing.
gunner.
He's put up an airplane with this,
Oh.
with a helicopter with the machine gunner on it. It looks like a
Oh, I
MASH
hope-
helicopter.
I hope that's
cutout.
AI. I hope that's AI. I can't imagine because they had free 60s. They'd hang on the outside with the 60 millimeter machine guns or
The
M16s. Yeah.
Oh
Oh,
my
geez.
gosh.
Oh, yeah. That's scary. That is. I can't imagine. I can't
I
imagine.
mean, when you look back at that shit now, do you go, I can't believe I went up in that thing?
Oh, we have. We'll get to that a little later. But
Yeah,
the unit has reunions. We get together. We have every 2 years since 1991, and all the stories just are the same. They just get a little more embellished every 2 years.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And they all start. So there I was. I thought you stole that information from us. Is what I thought.
Right. It's brilliant.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, there I was.
Very
They all start like that.
That's right. That's right. So after instrument training, we transitioned into the Hueys, and now this was serious because now this is what we're going to fly in Vietnam, and we're flying B model, and C model Hueys, some D model Hueys, and UH-1s, and then we had some gun training because some of us were going to be we're going to end up flying gunships, and then the big day, graduation, and that picture of my father was on graduation day. We got a 30-day leave, and then off to a 30-day terminal leave, and
Yeah,
then
Yeah.
off. To,
That's a little disturbing.
Yeah, that's a terrible word for it.
I know, I know, and away we went, sunny Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
So from start to finish, flight school, start to finish, estimate. I mean, just give me
9 to 10 months is,
Wow,
is
that's
the length of time. You get about 200 hours. You get about 200 hours. Yeah.
And is the majority of that in the UE at the end?
Yeah. Basically, it's 4 months on primary, and secondary was about 5 months. So
Okay. And then straight to a unit deployed, or did you start with a unit that was you deployed together, or were you?
well, not all of us are lucky enough to deploy the way I deployed.
Oh, okay.
So I'm leaving Duluth, Minnesota, and I'm heading to Chicago to pick up an American airline plane, and it's a Travis Air Force Base. And when I get to Chicago, and there in the waiting lounge is Jeff Clark and Les Tatarsky. Les Tatarsky was my roommate in Fort Rucker. Good man. So the three of us fly to we fly to San Francisco together. And we're sitting in a bar somewhere. I know that's hard for you to believe that warrant officers would drink, but we did on that occasion. And
Well, you know. Sure,
Well, hold on a second. Were you even 21 at this point?
no, of course not.
Well, but you're a
No,
warrant
no,
officer, so that's okay.
Oh yes, absolutely. They're all young men's wars.
Because
Right?
that picture looks like you're 14. I know you're not, but holy shit!
I had a hard time getting served. Let's just put it that way.
I
That's it.
bet. I bet. Oh my god.
So we're sitting in the bar and we're close to the window, and a guy walks down the street, and he turns around and comes back, and he comes back in. And he chats us up a little bit, and he says, "How would you boys like to go to a Playboy show?" The Playboy Club is at the bottom of the hill.
Of course you said
And-
no. I'm not old enough.
oddly enough, that never crossed my mind.
Weird.
That phrase had never crossed my mind.
Of course
And
it
so
did.
we took him up. We didn't believe him. I mean, we just but we said, all right, let's go down the hill, and he's coming up to get us. Right, so this is the real deal, and we're in the San Francisco Playboy Club, and it was 3 stories, and the top floor played music, and then when that ends, then the second floor starts, and they want you there as long as you can. They can get you there. And we found out that he was a warrant officer, helicopter pilot in 1964 in the early days, and he knew what we were going to face.
He knew what was about to happen.
Yeah, exactly. So he opened up his tab. He said, he called one of the bunnies over, and he said, whatever these guys want, you go ahead and serve them. So we bought a drink on his tab, and then we drank, then we paid for our own. But we drank way too much because we knew where we were going the next day. And I'm dragging my duffel bag with some embarrassment through the replacement at Travis Air Force Base. I had a E7 walking toward me in his jungle fatigues. And he stops me and he looks at me and he goes, "Officers carry their duffel bags." I'm dragging mine because I can hardly walk, let alone put it on my shoulder.
Oh,
But we made it. So the 3 of us, 217 people on the plane, and I know that because we were in charge. We were the only 3 officers on the plane. And so they asked, who is senior? And I happened to be senior because I had the time as an enlisted guy first. So they gave me the manifest, and I'm in charge. I'm in charge of the whole plane. Plane loses an engine on the way to Hawaii, lands in Hawaii, 8 hours. Don't leave the airport, they told 217 people.
Just wander around the airplane for 8 hours.
We wandered. We went everywhere. We rented a car. We wandered all. We went all.
Oh,
over.
nice. Okay.
Oh yeah. But what were they going to do? I mean, what's the punishment?
Yeah, they can send you to Vietnam.
Cut your hair and send you to Vietnam, Red.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But we got there. We got to the 90th Replacement Battalion. Units. They were just replacing pilot by pilot. So Les and I wanted desperately to be served together, to serve together. And he goes north and I go south. And I never saw him again, unfortunately.
When you say somebody went north, somebody went south, what's that mean?
I'm sorry. So I was assigned to the 13th Aviation Brigade Battalion in Sac Train, which is way down south. He went to the 229th, which is up in the middle of the country. And so we didn't get assigned to the same unit. We weren't even close.
Okay.
But
and that was the last time you saw him.
He died in June 1970. Yeah.
What month was that? Or when did you land? So you went Hawaii to Saigon, or did you go stop in the Philippines?
No, we went to Saigon, and
when did you land there? Do you recall?
Oh yeah, it was August 1st of 1969.
Wow.
Oh, the cool season. Oh wait, yeah.
There's yeah.
Oh, I was sorry for your loss there too, and I know you have more loss, obviously.
Well, they told us in flight school. This is I don't they said to get our attention in flight school. They said, we want you to pay attention here because look to your left and look to your right because one of you isn't going to be here. And they were just sharing with us what the odds were, and I'll be damned if they weren't correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a similar I don't know if you'd call it advice or warning, and it was pretty spot on.
Yeah.
It was
military
airplanes is not the safest job in the world.
Yeah,
No.
no, and nobody was even
Especially when
shooting at us
people
at
were
the time,
shooting at you.
right?
You know.
That's right. That's right. So I
So
ended
you
up in
went,
the 114th, which was in the Vin Long and another town in the Delta. And the 114th, much to my surprise, I didn't know it had this history when I joined the unit. We were the first Huey helicopter unit deployed to Vietnam in March of 1963. I got there and actually it was end of July of 1969, and the unit was there. We are, and the unit, because of just necessity, basically wrote the tactics for air mobile flight.
Yeah.
Nighttime, first nighttime formation. How do we do this? How do we extract people at night? We've never done it before. How do we insert people at night with a flight of 5? How should the gunships behave? Right? And it was a racetrack pattern that was developed. It was.
and this is no night vision.
Oh, geez,
Zero.
no. No. This is the summer of 1963. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Am I correct in assuming that all of those procedures were written in ink made of blood?
yes. There's quite a few. Quite a few stories. There's one that is that is pretty interesting to me. Another flight school buddy, Dave Tila, lives in Connecticut, and our unit has a history book, and
Okay.
the first to die in our unit was from his hometown, and so I sent Dave one of the history books, and he goes, "Oh my goodness, John's from my hometown. I know his brothers. I know." And so I shipped him some more books, and I'm the quartermaster for the unit. And he meets them to give them their books in person. And he learns the following: on a flight escorting McNamara around South Vietnam, this aircraft goes down, and all are lost. And Mrs. McNamara meets Mrs. I think her name is Sherwin, and she says to this grieving now Gold Star mother, "If there's anything I can do for you, please let me know." So the younger brother comes of age, and he's going to avenge the death of his older brother. So he joins. He's in up in Yakima, Washington. He's training to deploy.
Okay.
And right before the deployment, the colonel comes and pulls him out and says, "You're not going." And he cannot figure out what is going on. And long after he's out of the army, does his mother tell him she called Mrs. McNamara and said, "I've already lost one. I can't lose another."
She
And
called in
whatever
legit.
connection she made, exactly, and pulled him out of the unit, and he didn't know for years. So the story goes, and so, and just there's so many human interest stories that happen with these poor guys that don't come back.
Oh,
How about that?
that's amazing.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, like I said, I had no idea. We have a gentleman by the name of Robin Miller who is just a legend in our unit. And the Tet Offensive of 1968 happens, and they're in the wire. They're inside. The bad guys are inside the wire, and there was a convent just on the outside of the base, and these 7 or 8 nuns ministered to the young women. Amerasian, perhaps. I don't remember all of them, but orphans, and they taught them skills, taught them how to sew, taught them how to read, taught them all kinds of stuff so they could be self-sufficient. And the city was on the other side of the convent, and so the convent was between us and the attacking forces. And Robin says, "Anyone heard from the convent?" I said, "No." And so he takes a helicopter and puts Parker Evans in it, and it flies into the compound and starts evacuating these girls, flight after flight after flight after flight. But each time he landed, Parker Evans said, "Here, you stay here," with a bandolier, the Rambo bandolier of M60 ammo and a free M60. And free, I mean, it's unmounted, right? I mean, it's handheld, right? And I'll be back. The famous word, and he's spraying down the walls, but the nuns won't leave. No, not till the girls are first. And he pulled them all up. He jerked that thing off the no takeoff. I mean, he just jerked that thing. I twisted the tail boom about 30 degrees with all the torque to get these kids out of there. And when we walked into the convent, I'm there in 69 and 70 with the Cobra patch. Mm-hmm. The doors are wide open, everything. And one of the nuns retired and invited Robin from California to attend in Ireland, and he did. All these years later. Yeah. Great stuff.
Oh, that is
there. It is
absolutely amazing. So, nice over at the Delta. Yeah,
I've got 56 cases of them. So don't be shy. We're selling them for $35 plus shipping. This is about $19. So for $50, I can get you one of these.
Right.
And it's a good read. It's a good read.
Wow. Yeah. So Nights Over the Delta. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thanks for the plug.
That's chilling, but amazing. The things.
Well, there's lots of there's just
do.
There's lots of, exactly. I mean, I think I told Pete early. Revis Hugh Nelson died in 1966, sheltering. Aircraft got shot down. Bailey Jones got thrown out. Crew chief is on its side, and they're getting shot at. They're very close to the bad guys. They're getting shot at. So Nelson goes over and tries to pull these guys on the other side onto the floor of the aircraft, because it's on its side, to try and give them some protection from the metal in the floor. And he gets killed. He had been put in for the Medal of Honor, and it was downgraded. He was a Citadel grad, 64 Citadel grad.
Okay.
In the last 10 years, another Citadel grad, different class, I believe, found out the story and basically started a one-man campaign to have the Medal of Honor upgraded. 10 years. And in January of this past year, it was awarded to him. President Biden awarded it to his daughter and son. And they came to our reunion and shared with us the medal and the citation. We had them as our guests of honor at our reunion. It was a wonderful experience to meet them.
Oh, I bet that was awesome. Where do you hold your reunion? Different places?
Different places, yeah. Next one's in Savannah.
All right.
Fantastic.
Oh, good stuff.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Good.
Oh, we got to get some of your compadres on with us.
They're it would be worth it. Some of the guys stayed in. I didn't. Obviously, I got I got dinged and couldn't fly anymore. But
sure. No, that's amazing.
So did you fly? When did you start flying? Did you fly? You flew Cobras, yeah?
I did, and it worked as follows. Our call sign for the 3rd platoon, the 114th, is called the Knights of the Air, and so we had 3 platoons. All helicopter companies have 3 platoons. So we had a lift platoon that carried the troops. First platoon was the Red Knights, second platoon was the White Knights, and the 3rd platoon, the call sign was Cobras. And the Cobra helicopter was named after the 3rd Platoon of the 114th Aviation Company. And I didn't particularly believe that until we had a reunion in Fort Worth, Texas, and the retired Bell helicopter tech reps that would come to the reunion and speak verified that they were in the office when the decision was made to call it the Huey Cobra.
Really?
Amazing. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
And I
that's a
have,
little bit Amy.
yeah, exactly. So the unit received Cobras as a gunship and replacing the C models, which was the Huey based side by side and 4 crew members. And so the Cobras, 2 crew members, front and back, and no room for crew chief and door gunner. And so our unit started to get Cobras, but we had no Loaches. We didn't have any of the little birds or the OH-6s that formed a normal hunter-killer team where the little ones go low looking for trouble, and then the Cobras are hanging high waiting for either they pop smoke, right? Here's a bad guy right here. Here's a tunnel complex. There's something right here. Pop the smoke, and then we would ideally you'd roll in. There's, oh my goodness, that's a Cobra. That's a C model Cobra. Hoghead. Oh my goodness sakes. I don't know where you're getting these, but that's
Styx
ours.
is
That's our,
a magician in the background. So.
yeah, that
Looks
is
like a
that,
Huey to me.
well, that
It
it is. It is. It's the Huey, but the name of the
Look at the armament on the side of it, though. The hog
yes,
head,
yeah. This was what they called the Hog, which had this is just a huge amount of rockets on the left hand side, and there's a 40 millimeter grenade launcher in the nose. But that's our insignia. That's the Cobra insignia, which is the insignia of the 3rd Platoon, which is always confusing. That's a standard Loach, that LOH, light observation helicopter, that was initially paired with a Cobra. And this bird would fly low, the Cobra would fly high, and we didn't have any Loaches. So our lead Cobra in a flight of 2 was the low bird, the Loach. And that's where we got into all our trouble and had lots of fun flying low in this monstrous aircraft that the enemy just was petrified of.
Yeah.
It was
So is that what you refer to as your version of the hunter-killer mission?
Yes, the hunter-killer mission was little bird low, Cobra high. We didn't have any little birds, so we put the lead Cobra as the little bird, and we could talk. You could talk to Tom. Tom didn't want to fly with me ever again after this particular mission, where we ran out of guns, we ran out of rockets, and there were bad guys in the grass. And so I had a M2 carbine. This is a little embarrassing. I had an M2 carbine, and I handed it forward and gave it to Tom, and Tom opened up the window, and we're hovering around the grass, and with grass, bad guy dispatch. I mean, find out that
This, this sounds like Dog Davis's story.
fearless, just absolutely. I mean, and of course, what are they're fully armed. They're just scared to death. They could have thrown a rock and taken us down. But
Right? Hit your rotor blade with a rack.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Certainly, we were
Holy
on it.
shit.
So walking back to the on the ramp, Tom goes, "I don't know how you made me do that." And he went to to our platoon leader Bob and said, "I don't want to fly with him again." It's his. Bob says, "You're on the schedule with him tomorrow."
Son of a bitch.
So was the pilot in the back the guy that flew, and the guy in the front was the gunner? Is that how you? Yeah.
That is exactly what happened. Yes. So
But both are qualified pilots. Both are pilots.
both are qualified pilots. And so when I got into the 114th, there was a slot for a front seat, and so I interviewed for the slot, and Captain Dobbs said, "You're in." And so I then began to sit in the front seat, And then there was a in-country transition school in Vung Tau up north. And that was a 21-day nonstop, all day, every day. And you transition from the front seat and learn how to fly in the back seat. So then you can become an aircraft commander because you're controlling the aircraft in the back.
Okay.
So the back flies, has control of the rockets and the wing and the wing store. The co-pilot in the front has a sight that slaves to the turret, and he's got a 6-barrel minigun and a 40 millimeter grenade launcher. The finest weapon. Oh my goodness! Put those 40 millimeters in a coffee can. They were just marvelous.
Was the 40 millimeter grenade launcher belt fed by chance?
Yes, it was.
Shut the front door.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I need one of those.
I know, right?
Let's go deer hunting.
Oh,
So what was a typical day like? Did you fly 2, off 1? I mean, what's a week look like in Vietnam when you're a combat helicopter pilot?
you're operating on intelligence. Intelligence is gathered overnight and disseminated to, and we're supporting it. By the time I got there in July of '69. The 9th Division had just left, and so we never supported any U.S. troops. We supported the 21st and the 7th, I think, ARVN, Army of Republic of Vietnam, their division, and they had some Rangers, and so they would say,
Americans
"Okay,
embedded with those guys?
were there what?
Were there Americans embedded with those guys?
Yes. Yeah. Not a job for me.
Oh.
No, thank you. No, thank you. Yeah, because you couldn't trust them. You just couldn't trust them. When they got into the soup, there was nothing worse than getting radio calls that they're gone, they've left, and and they're coming.
Yeah, they just melt into the countryside to save their skin.
Yeah, and typically at night. Yeah, but not all of them. Some of them were very good, very dedicated. But they've been fighting since since they were kids.
1860s when Japan
Yeah.
started Vietnam. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
people don't know that was a 100-year-old war by the time the Americans got involved.
Exactly. Yeah. So then the intelligence would say, all right, there's bad guys. We think there's bad guys here. There's bad guys. And there was we were chasing a prisoner of war camp all over the Mekong Delta. We knew it was there. We'd get word of it, but they were very mobile, very quick. And we were there days late on many occasions.
Oh.
And after I left, they found it and liberated the prisoners. But so then you get up at 5 and you're up at 6. You grab something to eat. You head down to ops, and ops will tell you where you're going, what your frequencies were, what the ground unit was, and then the PZ and the Sergeant White, and so they pick. Yeah, they tell you where you're going.
Of an office, designating basically your dispatch.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And then we go down to the flight line, and the crew chiefs, God bless them, were already up. We had Bob Stallings was his name, and I could give you names. You could just call these guys up and mention Bob Stallings' name, and they all say the same thing. Never feared never concerned about the aircraft ever. It was if Bob's maintaining it, you had nothing to worry about. And so when you walk out of the flight line in the morning and he goes, "Are we good?" Thumbs up. You know you take it to the bank, and away you went.
Nice.
Was it always the same loadout for you? Like, was it just full guns, full rockets, full everything, or did you?
Yes. No. Well, we had 10-pound PD point detonating rockets.
Okay.
2.75 folding fin aerial rockets, and Korea invention, and then they all had 17-pound VT variably timed rockets. So you got more warhead, and it would go off about 30 feet above the ground.
Could you change the fusing height from the cockpit, or was it set on the ground?
No. It's all set on the ground. Yeah. No, we would adjust it by firing a pair. And then he said, oh yeah, okay. Well, that spreads a little. You have to be a little closer. Good idea. Closer.
Right on. Oh man, fantastic. Yeah. All right. Well, I'd like to take a minute and thank our sponsor, Masterclass, who helped bring this show to you, and many shows for that matter. And then we're going to come back and talk about some more Vietnam and close out with the show opener, as it were.
Whoa! I just discovered something really cool. I've been diving into Chris Voss's negotiating sessions on Masterclass. And this guy, former FBI hostage negotiator, teaches you how to get what you want without anyone realizing you're steering the ship. Tactical empathy, mirroring, labeling. I actually tested it on my dog. He wanted 3 treats. I labeled his feelings, mirrored his little head tilt, and I walked away with 2 beers, and he only got 1 treat. That's a win in my book.
Hold on. You negotiated up from a dachshund?
Yeah, yesterday. Yeah, he had me open the jar 3 times before breakfast. Today, I used Voss's tactics. I came out ahead. For the first time, I beat him at his own game.
Nice. Well, Fig was trading with his dog like it's the UN Security Council. I've been having a blast with Penn and Teller Magic and Steve Martin Comedy on Masterclass. I used to do stage magic and hypnosis at state fairs, and so Penn and Teller were right up in wheelhouse. They started with some simple tricks, and then they throw in some advanced theory that makes you go, wait, how did they even think of that? And Steve Martin, he makes starting stand-up sound easy. All you need to do is have the ability to notice stuff, and that kind of works out for me because people already laugh at me when I'm just sitting there quietly.
It's because of your face.
Well, I do have a face for radio. I get it.
That's the thing. These sessions cover everything from negotiating to magic to comedy to leadership. And they're chopped into bite-sized sessions. So even if you're slammed, you can fit one in. I do mine on audio right before bed instead of doom scrolling.
Oh, yeah. That's not a good way to go to bed. So here's the wild thing, though. The stats are that 3 out of 4 members are inspired every single time they watch Masterclass. That's not just hype. I watched Penn and Teller and immediately pulled off a trick. I made Fig's beer disappear.
That's my last beer. I'm still grieving.
Well, like Steve Martin says, comedy is tragedy plus time. You'll laugh about it later, Fig.
All right, folks. If you want to sharpen your skills, whether it's negotiating like Chris Voss, making things vanish like Penn and Teller, or cracking people up like Steve Martin, this is your chance. Right now, our listeners get an additional 15% off any annual membership at masterclass.com/so there I was. That's 15% off at masterclass.com/so there I was. All one word. Masterclass.com/so there I was.
Seriously, folks, we've had some fun with this, but we mean it. Masterclass is worth trying. It's one of those things that can actually make you better at something you care about, and maybe even surprise you with something new you never thought you'd try. Go give it a shot. You'll thank yourself later. There you go.
Very good.
Thanks, Masterclass. Hey, listen, if you really want us to hear you, you got to turn that mic on, bro.
Did. What happened? So here's what happened. I hit unmute at the same time that the StreamYard hit unmute, and it muted me back. So,
that's all right.
It is what it is. My
we'll
point
we'll
was, thank you to Masterclass for bringing this show and many to you. And this show has been especially fun for me so far. I just am in awe when we get an aviator like this aboard with us, Fig. I don't know about you, but
well,
this is awesome.
he's a piece of aviation history, and
yes,
and he's a treasure. Don't let it go to your head, Cobra-31. You won't be able to get that through the door when you go to the Cigar Fest on Saturday.
Exactly.
You know, people ask, well, how do you know he was a helicopter pilot? Well, he told you. He Told you right off the bat. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
That's like F-15 guys. How do you know they're an F-15 guy? Well, they tell you straight out. Hey, I flew
Straight
F-15.
away. Exactly.
Whoa,
I fly.
okay.
Bingo. So, aside from being as hot as the surface of the sun, at least it was humid in Vietnam. Was there any relief in the cockpit? Were they air conditioned?
Yes, they were.
Okay.
All except for
Okay.
number 248. 248 was a 66 bird, and nobody wanted to fly 248. But so the Lycoming
Someone didn't
engine.
frag that airplane?
No, they should have dropped a grenade into the fuel tank and blamed the Viet Cong. That's what they should have done, but they didn't. So they bled some air off the Lycoming engine and turned it into air conditioning, and so we had two vents on each side of that 36-inch cockpit, and of course depending on the humidity and how hot it was, snow. We'd create snow inside the
Sure.
the
Oh,
cockpit.
shit hot.
It'd be
Okay.
blowing at us, and as long as we had our ADF turned to 600, which was Armed Vietnam
Armed Forces Radio.
Vietnam Armed Forces radio. Yeah, this is
Okay.
long after Cronauer's gone, and so.
Okay.
But the you get some nice tunes, flying and dying by nice numbers from the 60s was the way to go.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord.
So it was an ADF though in the bird.
Yes, absolutely.
That's
yeah.
outstanding.
Hey, I want to go back just a little bit. The day in the life type, just to follow up. What was your radius of operations when you took off? Like, how far out would you go on missions?
Well, if there was a map of the Delta, we covered the entire Delta, which was, there's 4 corps, right? I Corps 2,
Yep.
3, and
Yep.
4, and 4 corps was the Mekong Delta. So it's everywhere south of Saigon, all the way to the Kamau Peninsula, all the way to the end, and then to Rockjaw on the west side, and the Delta, the Mekong Delta.
Okay.
Outflow into the so there were bad guys.
What was the average fly day time wise? How much were you flying in one day, one mission?
Well, probably easily 8. Easy.
Good Lord.
Can you imagine strapping on a Cobra for 8 hours a day? My ass would still be sore today.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my God. So,
Well, the tactics would. This is what would happen. So you get intelligence that at point A you got bad guys, and so the lift platoon, there'd be a flight of 5, and they'd carry 10 each. And so the PZ pickup zone would be designated. You'd go pick these guys up, and we as Cobra pilots would fly around them. And as they got ready to land into the landing zone, if it was hot, then we would pound the landing zone early as they're coming in. And if they do come in and land and they are taking fire, they'd designate where the fire was coming from, and we'd apply armament at that point in time. Then the troops stay. The troop carriers go back to the staging area, and then we, as Cobra, we are going to stay over the troops
okay.
all day long. As they maneuver, we provide cover all day long. That's why it would be an 8-hour day. Oh, the kill cards.
Yeah.
We would drop those after we dispatched the bad guys. We carried those with us, and we dropped them.
So
in fact,
he's got a card. But Bago is killing it tonight. Thank you, Bago, for showing up. It says
nicely done.
Cobra, Vin Long Airfield, and then it's My Bay on Keech Cobra Strikes, Death to the Viet Cong. They dropped these cards on these guys. Wow.
Yeah. So we just let everyone. Oh my goodness sakes!
And now he's got a picture of a Cobra.
That is a coveted Cobra pin. And you were awarded that if you were involved in a first kill. You would get that. And
wow,
I have replicas of those, and those are coveted.
That's pretty bad.
So, folks,
You
if you want to,
earn those.
yeah, If you want to see these pictures, you could go to x.com/there_I_was or youtube.com @thereiwas88b. Or just search for us. So there I was on any of those platforms. But oh my goodness,
Yeah,
That's
114th has a the 114th has a website as well with lots
And
of
speaking of-
pictures over time.
speaking of pins and medals, you mentioned a number to me today that it came up as a reaction to one of the jokes I told you, which is, there I was at night, inverted, total electrical failure. Know how I could tell? Air medals dangling in my face. So, but you could have had air medals dangling in your face. Would you tell our audience how many air medals you have and why?
Well, the award function was for every 25 hours of combat time, you would receive an air medal. And then if you performed valorously in the air, you could get an air medal awarded for valor, which would not based on hours.
Okay.
And so combat time, so I've got 38 air medals because every 25 hours of combat time, you'd send you an air medal. It makes my chest a little heavy when I get in my uniform.
Right?
My uniform.
I don't have
That's the
3/8
best.
of an air medal.
Well, I don't know. We never flew above 1,500 feet, guys. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I'd covet that if I were you.
Terrifying. That's
Yeah.
That is
There it is.
just shy of 1,000 hours of combat.
I was getting ready to do the math. I'm like,
Yeah.
holy shit! So how?
Yeah.
So how many
Yeah.
days in a row would you fly? I mean, would you fly two, get one off, or how in the
No,
hell?
we'd try and get a day. We'd try and get a day off. You would try not to fly every day. But there were times when, May of 1970, when Nixon okayed invasion of Cambodia to 21 miles, and we were flying. We were flying in all through southern, because we approached Cambodia from the south.
Yeah.
Other units approached it from the west and the north. But
What,
so yeah, there was a lot of flying for Cobra because we were needed all the time because of just the way the missions evolved and were designed and evolved. You wanted air cover wherever you went.
What was the purpose of the invasion of Cambodia? Was it to interdict the Ho Chi Minh Trail that they had established?
Yes, the Vente Canal was the geographical border, and we could see the bad guys at night. We did a lot of night flying interdiction along that canal,
With no
and we
night
could see
vision?
no, but we could see the bad guys. We could see truck convoys coming down the highway. We could see them, but they were just on the other side of the line.
So you
and
couldn't do anything
we
about it
couldn't
until-
do a thing. They're unloading. They're unloading those trucks with weapons that they're going to deploy against us in the future, and there's nothing you could do about it
That's mad.
until 1970. And he said, "Yeah, you can go in 21 miles." And boy, they did.
Okay.
Because then we ran into anti-aircraft fire. Then we ran into some 23s and some things that just puckered you up pretty good.
Yeah. Well,
What
that's
was the most satisfying mission do you recall?
Well, there were a lot of them.
Okay.
The last one was particularly because we were in that particular mission. We were leapfrogging. There were bad guys, and the slicks, the troop carrying helicopters, would insert the troops. They'd go look, and if they couldn't find them, they'd call them back and said, "Let's go somewhere else." Instead of dropping them in, leaving them all day, there's nothing to worry about. So we're not gonna, there's no bad guys, so there's no point going any farther. But this one was different, and they were climbing a hill, and they got ambushed, and some of them left their weapons on the side of the hill, and not good. I could see them from the air because I'm the low bird, and so I'm directing. I'm lower than I should be because I'm not too far off the ground, But out of a cockpit, I can make eye contact with the good guys, and I'm telling the good guys that right underneath here is an M60, and there's another one here and another one here, and they were able to recoup those weapons and keep them out of the hands of the bad guys. And we were strafing the hillside, and that's when I got shot on the backside.
So what kind of armor, if any, was there around the cockpit? I know, but
We
you
had some.
You got the big plexiglass, canopy. That's not.
You had a quarter inch of plexiglass on the.
Was your seat? Did your seat offer any protection?
Yes. The seat was covered. The sides were covered up to your waist, right? And then you had some ear pieces so you didn't get shot from that. Most pilots got shot either in the legs, which are not protected, or straight on, because you wore a chest protector.
Okay.
But nothing else. And
what do they call those chicken plates? Was that the huge
chicken plates? Yep. Never go anywhere. And then you take your 38 caliber pistol, because every Army aviator was given one of those to ward off the bad guys when there's nothing left.
Do you still have yours, or they take it from you in the hospital?
No, they take it.
Bastards.
They took it. Yeah.
Bastards.
Yeah.
I had a friend who has long since passed. He was a Navy chief, but he was on the Yorktown, and when she sank at Midway, he went to the armory and grabbed a bunch of 45s out of the armory. And he had them until the day he died. The ones that he didn't have to throw out of his pockets to keep from sinking to the bottom of the Pacific. But he got in the water, it got colder and darker and colder and darker, and he's like, "Oh, son of a bitch!" He started shedding pistols until he started going back in the right direction.
I don't remember them being particularly buoyant.
Yeah,
those 45s.
So,
yeah,
but or nor the 38 for that matter. It's just too bad you didn't get to
no.
First, though.
You rotate the 38 because you've got a belt, ammo belt, and then you strap it onto your leg, and then when you get in the cockpit, the first thing you do is you rotate it over and put it right in your crotch to protect your goods.
Oh yeah,
Protect the jimmies. That's what we did. That's what we did with the 38s. That's about all they were good for.
Steel to stop around. Oh
yes,
man.
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, and so that was the last day of my. That was my last official flight. That particular day, and
so much came out of that in your life as we were doing some pre-show chat that I think it'd probably be a good time to kind of get into that. Can you tell us about everything that day that led up to you finding yourself Sarah Wise commies to the left and right and body parts flying?
Yeah, exactly. I tell you, the first this is so embarrassing. First of all, it's the best thing that ever happened to me. It is absolutely, bar none, best thing that ever happened to me was getting shot through the legs in Vietnam. Now,
okay. That's a different perspective, but all right.
It is. So I'm able to bring the aircraft to a hover, but I can't. I got nerve damage. I can't feel the pedals, so I can't land it. But the guy in the front seat landed it. Command and control aircraft comes down. Crew chief and gunner come over, pick me up, carry me back into their aircraft, and we fly to the local special forces Green Beret medic, which is where we supported them up in a place called Chilang. Cut off my flight suit and apply the compress bandage from hell.
Okay.
And
well,
then,
can you go back to that morning or what time of day was this?
4:00 in the afternoon.
Okay. So can you go back to, I guess, pre-flight, when you realize you're going on this mission, what's the brief? How long do you guys even brief? Because,
it does sound like there's much of a
we
brief. You show up
hour.
and you go, this is where you're going.
It was, by 1970, which is it was all very routinized. And so there wasn't a need for, the World War II sitting one deck below and in chairs while someone's at a pointer and telling you this is where you're going to go. And it was not that at all. It was just, you're going to support this unit. Here's the PZ for the pickup zone. here's the frequency, here's the call signs, and away you go.
Okay.
And then as gunship pilots, we're typically following the troop carriers. Because we didn't have to pay a lot of attention to where we were going. We just followed them because they were the ones that were going to be picking up the troops and bringing them in. And so
it's like us following the tanker. Tanker was responsible for navigation. We were just there till okay.
Sure,
Right.
sure, yeah. And like I said, on this particular day, we were leapfrogging. We were chasing bad guys. We were actually chasing them. It felt very, very satisfying instead of just boring holes in the.
So you hit a few dry
Sky.
LZs before you got to
Before we got to the Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you
Yeah.
remember which, second, third, fourth, where it was you dropped them and things got hot quick?
No, because they came into contact and they showed us where the bad guys were. And there's hillsides. It's like it's like underneath hospitals in Gaza. There's tunnels everywhere, and they've been digging them. They've been digging them in these mountains for 50 years. And so when they'd come out and shoot, it was hard. You had to find them. It was hard to find them because they'd shoot and then retreat.
Back down the tunnel.
Yeah,
Okay.
and wait until we either came by or they had a good beat on us. And in my case, that's what happened. Oh, there it is.
That's a good picture right there.
Got
That
Cobra
is,
firing some rockets downrange.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, so it was. There we go, front seat.
There is
So
no protection. Well, you do have that quarter-inch of plexiglass to the left, right, and in front of you. So
Yeah, and notice there, just to the left of the seat, the half-inch of gray.
yeah,
That's about all they'd give the poor guy in the front seat. But you see the controls. You see the collective on the left and the cyclic on the right.
Okay.
Those were stubby controls with about a 4-to-1 mechanical
that's interesting. It
disadvantage.
almost looks like an Airbus stick now compared to I assumed that the collective or the cyclic was between your legs in a Cobra. It's not.
In the back seat, it is.
Yeah. Okay.
This is the front, and so this sight would stowed at this particular point, but you disconnect that sight, and you'd hit the actuators on either side of the sight, and as I said, that it would slave to the turret underneath you. Then you could swing left and right, and your sighting mechanism is the slanted glass at the top of the sight.
So it didn't slave to your helmet in those days.
No.
Okay. Because my understanding was that at least in the Marine Cobras they slaved it to the helmet. He had a reticle that he could look through, and
That wouldn't surprise me. The Marines did a much better job. Their helicopter pilots, and look at this.
Well, they were full-on officers. They wanted them to have all the right equipment.
They wanted him back.
They wanted him to come back. They had a lot of money invested in him. For crying out loud,
Yeah, that's a
punch
good
me
point.
in the balls
No.
when I see him on Saturday.
That's a good point. That
Right
looked
in the
like
jimmy.
Smitty. That what? I get to read.
Jones.
Who
It
is
says
that?
Jones.
Oh, Jones. That's Bailey Jones. That's the
Oh.
guy. Bailey Jones. Thank you. Bailey Jones was the co-pilot in the aircraft that Nelson was in, and Jones got thrown out and wounded badly, and then Nelson tried to get the other guys and got killed. But that's who that is. Bailey died of cancer several years ago after putting on the reunion for us in Louisville, Kentucky.
Hold on. I got to tell the joke. What's the definition of an optimist? A Harrier pilot thinks he's going to die of cancer. Sorry. Had to do it.
That's not bad. Look, a slick. AC,
Yeah.
crew chief,
So,
crew engineer, guns.
yeah.
I
So
like it.
we're putting up pictures on YouTube. Sorry to the folks that are listening only, because we are predominantly an audio-only show. But you are just killing it tonight.
You're missing some awesome
Thank you.
pictures if you're
Go to
only
YouTube,
listening.
look at our feed, and get some of these pictures. Fun stuff.
So
So we've interrupted his story here.
I know, and
Oh, no,
I
no.
want to get so.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Please continue, sir.
Oh,
I
it's
apologize.
it's not. So they commandeer another aircraft, right? Because there was a lot of resupply,
Sure.
what they call ash and trash missions, or pay records, right? You got to go pay these guys in these compounds, the U.S. guys that are in the Vietnamese compounds and out in the middle of nowhere. They got to resupply them, and so they commandeered one of those aircraft, put me on it, and flew me to Can Tho, which is in the middle of the Delta. I was out in the west end, and the third surgical hospital was in Can Tho. And
Okay.
so I ended up there. And
Was it both legs, one leg? Where were you?
I got
Describe that again.
I got nicked behind the knee in my left leg, and the bullet went entered the right leg below the knee, hit the left tibial artery, perineal nerve, tibia, and then blew out the right tibial artery on the other side. The femoral artery splits in half at the knee into two tibial arteries, one on each side to support the muscles and your calf muscles. And so I'm bleeding out. And so they get me to the hospital, pull the bandage off. I shoot people with zzz, 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 and cover me back up. And they say, we're going to do our best to save your leg. If we can, we will. If we can't, you'll lose it, but you're not going to die. And what do you say?
Thanks, bitching.
Yeah.
Go
Right.
get
Yeah,
it.
yeah. By this time, I was in so much pain. I said, just no, less talk. Let's get me.
Less
me
of
in there,
this
please. Yes,
and more
yeah.
of this.
More of this. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So it was the countdown, right? 1, 2, 198, 97, boom, gone. And surgery was 7 hours, they say, according to my medical
Oh
records.
my gosh.
Now this is the part that says, there it is. Look at that. You guys are good. Who's doing that?
That's Bago.
So we got Sticks and Bago.
It's got to be Sticks or
Yeah.
Bago. One, they're
Yeah,
like
Bago. Sticks is complimenting him in the background. So Sticks is our
Well,
Coast Guard
thank you.
rotor head. Bago is our avionics tech now working the F-35 program at Cherry Point, and two amazing producers for our show.
Bless them both. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah, and so the good doctor, who's a naturalized citizen from Iran, he comes in and he takes out the saphenous vein from my left leg. That's 33. That's yeah. There we go. There's that Cobra insignia on the side panel underneath the cockpit is the giveaway. That's our
He's putting
That
up more
is
pictures of Cobras and
Tin
painting
Tan.
the Cobra.
When we get a new Cobra, Tin Tan is hired from downtown to come in to paint the logo, and then on the side of the aircraft, and the number on what they call the doghouse, which is up on top.
Right there.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness sakes!
Wow.
Yes, indeed.
10-10.
Good stuff. Yeah, that's we paid him to paint our stuff. So he cuts open my left leg and he takes out the saphenous vein, and a saphenous vein is the first vein that is removed when a woman wants varicose veins removed. That's the first. So it's excess.
Sticks is in the background. Sticks
Don't
is a
say
nurse practitioner, and so he's back there going, yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's okay. Good. Well, then someone will know what I'm talking about other than myself here. So the saphenous vein is harvested from the left leg, cut in half, grafted half onto the left tibial artery, the other half onto the right tibial artery, sewed the left side shut with staples, which exposed the right-hand side. There was a lot of debridement, a lot of skin loss, a lot of muscle loss from our flight from where it happened to the hospital. And so I lost a lot of muscle, and I lost a lot, and so the hole that was left, they filled with skin graft. And then they just held on. It took my ankle pulse every 15 minutes to make sure it took. If it didn't take, then they were going to have to, go in and cut it off. And so I'm just blessed. I'm just I'm just lucky. That's all there is.
Well,
all there is to it. And
Yeah,
it
no,
started.
I get that you're emotional about that, and I can't imagine looking down and going, "Wait a minute, I was young and bulletproof. No,
Yeah,
I'm just young."
So
What the-
at 1 o'clock in the morning, when I'm out of surgery and I'm in the recovery room, and I'm coming to, and I'm thinking, what did I last hear? I heard they're going to take my leg if they can't fix it.
Okay.
And so I started pulling on the sheets, hoping I could count to 10, not stop at 5. And,
Oh, that may be a show title. Oh shit.
and so, as it turns out, it worked out. It worked out very fine. Okay, so from this, in my advanced age, I've become a circle closer, and as I told Pete earlier, so the first guy I see, oh God, there is Dr. Cyrus Haravi, naturalized citizen from Iran.
Wow.
And I found him in South Carolina in May. And
No
I drove. It's true. And I asked him, I called him up, and I got his wife's phone number, and did some research and found out that I called his wife. I explained who I was, and left a voicemail. I said who I was, and he called right away, called me right back. And no one had reached out to him at all. I get a chance to look. When I met him, I said, "I'm here for my 55-year follow-up." Post-op appointment, and so what do I get to do? I get to look him in the eye and thank and shake his hand and thank him for his good work, because I've swung both legs out of bed every single day for 55 years, and I owe that to him. And it's a blessing for me. No, he did not. He did not remember my surgery, and I don't know how many he did, but 55 years is a long time. I gave him some grace. Gave him some grace.
I can't remember what I did last week half the time. did he retire as a surgeon? I'm assuming.
He got out and then went to North Carolina, and basically went into the rural communities where they had no doctors, and did everything. Delivering babies to surgery.
That's just great.
Yeah, good. Just a good human being.
Okay, I have there's a little bit of space in your story for me. So let me, if you wouldn't mind, humor me for a second. You're coming off target, and that's when you got shot. That's when your helicopter got hit. Was there anything on the helicopter damage other than the hole that came through? They got you, and they came through the on the side.
To the left side. Yeah.
Okay, left side.
The racetrack. You come in, you do the sharp turn, you come out because you want to get back in position to cover your wingman, who is now.
Yeah, and you guys are making left-hand turns.
Making racetracks. Yep, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, and so from that area where you were engaging the enemy, you got wounded. How far did you go before you guys set it down? The helicopter.
Not very far.
Okay.
Not very far. No, there was some plinking in the water around us, so I didn't go as far as I probably should have.
So they got you out of the helicopter. The co-pilot flew it back.
Yep.
Okay, and you were in the other helicopter, and they took you down to that first station, and they put you on another one.
Yes, they took me to the Special Forces camp. Yeah, and the medic came out. God bless him.
Did he go with you? Did he go with you?
No, no. They put me on a litter and put me in the back of the helicopter, and then bent that thing over and flew. Get as fast as they could. The bad news was my tibia was broken, and I'm on a litter with metal legs, and I'm on the metal floor.
You were transferring every bump through to you.
Right?
Was there pain? Was there pain when you got in? Was it pain when the bullet went through your leg? Or was there too much going on at the time?
Not initially. the first thing that I felt was because of the nerve involvement.
Yeah.
It went like it instantly fell asleep. The whole right leg instantly fell asleep. And then the feeling just disappeared out my toes.
Oh shit.
Just really, really
That's
very,
creepy.
very,
Yes.
that's what I recall the feeling. And
Wow.
the pain came in the helicopter. And by the time I got to the 3rd Surgical Hospital, it was pretty tough.
It was the Special Forces medic that put the compression bandage from hell on. Yeah, that probably saved your life. Right there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the good news is it is compressed it. Right? The bad news is loss of blood for an hour to the extremities, the skin and the muscles, because I can't lift my toes, right? Because I've lost the muscles that go to the tendon, so I can't stand on my heels.
Oh, okay.
Big deal.
Well,
Right?
Well, darn luck.
that's one of those.
Yeah, they said you shouldn't go skiing. They said you shouldn't go skiing. I said,
Oh, I shouldn't do a lot of things.
First class I signed up for when I got back to
All
college.
right. Yeah, thanks.
Take some skiing classes. Yeah.
So, what was the recovery like, and how long did it take him to get you to the States, and what did that look like?
I was in the 3rd surge for approximately 2.5 weeks. When they flew me flew me to Japan. Camp Zama, Japan was a hospital in. I think I'm gonna guess it's in Okinawa. To be honest,
Okinawa. It's got to be Okinawa.
I would think so. And then you're there for to stabilize, because they wanted to make doggone sure before they got me to altitude that the vein graft was solid enough to withstand a decompression if that happened. Yeah. So they put me in a litter ship. There's a 141 litter ship, and I'm weigh about 110 pounds, and they put me on the bottom. Right. Horace weighs about 300 pounds.
Well, that makes no sense.
Exactly. Well, there's sticks. I'm sure you've seen them, right? There's sticks right down the center, and they're hanging litters on either side.
Sure.
Right? And so I'm in the bottom. So more good stories. First stop, Elmendorf Air Force Base. Right? 3:00 in the morning, December 17th, Elmendorf Air Force Base.
This is December 17th, 1970.
December 1970. Yeah.
The anniversary of flight.
Comes to a stop. Down goes the ramp, and in comes some damn cold air from Anchorage, Alaska. And right behind the air comes the Officers' Wives Club members. 3:00 in the morning. Newspapers, orange juice, welcome home. Nice to see you. Meet every
Can you
plane.
close the fucking door?
Are there any blankets in those bags that you're carrying around? So,
Asking for a friend.
Newspapers, orange juice. Fucking give me your coat. I love you, but give me your fucking coat.
oh, it was a little nippy, as I recall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their hearts are in the right place. God bless.
Oh
them.
my goodness, yes, yeah. Oh, it's easy, yes, yeah. Loadmaster's singing Christmas songs, right?
Wow.
He's singing Christmas songs. So I'm on a cruise in Alaska, 2007. In among the passengers is a guy by the name of Don, who says he single-handedly brought Eastern Airlines to its knees. That's his opening line. Right?
Oh boy!
All right.
But he was a 141 pilot, and we started talking back and forth, and we got a 50-50 chance based on the mission because he flew that mission. 50-50 chance that he would have been in the cockpit.
No shit.
He said he flew those. He said he gave me the route. He said you went from here to here to here to here. I said absolutely.
Yes, I did.
I flew that for months. Yeah. So who knows?
Hey,
knows?
you don't have his contact information, do you?
No.
We've never had a 141 pilot on ever.
No.
Oh, well, I'll thank you. And I'll try and load you up.
Well, and you're in really rare company because we've only had a handful of
Cobra guys, and-
Yui
but
guys,
Army
but
Hilo
even
guys,
but
yeah.
then Cobra guys. I don't. I think he may be the. Is he the first Army Cobra?
No,
guy?
no. We
Oh,
had Jeff
well,
Moss.
that's
and,
right. That's right. You're absolutely
And
right.
there was another guy, but it's escaping me now. Crap, that's embarrassing.
Freshly released from
Let-
prison,
yeah,
perhaps,
yeah.
when you got a hold of
Move
them.
on. Yeah,
Otherwise,
there's
Cobra
that.
helicopter.
But yeah, so you were kind of in the neighborhood of talking about this, and so go back to describing, please, if you would, your time in the. I called it the MASH unit. I don't know what it was a field hospital in Vietnam.
Yeah, Quonset hut.
And yeah. So what was that process like, and
Yeah.
who took care of you, and do you remember any of those folks?
Francie Pirro is is a name that I remember. I tried to find her. I tried to find
Anybody know
roster
Francie Pirro? Let him reach out.
she would have been a first lieutenant.
Yeah,
I think
he's
she
been
might have
wanting
been
to
from
ask you out for
Ohio.
55 years now, Francie.
Yeah, I don't. You didn't hear that. You didn't.
Yeah, his wife wouldn't understand. I get it.
It'd be hard to pull that one off. So the this has been family. This is why this has just been such a positive experience. Getting shot. It's changed my life, and we can talk about that. But my father is a lieutenant colonel in the Duluth Air National Guard, as we have discussed.
Right.
And the Army, in its infinite wisdom, sends a telegram to the family, letting them know that their son has been wounded. And my father flew the alert. So they had F-89s, and the F-89s were on alert 24/7. My dad took the Sunday night shift, as he always did, because so that other people could be with their family. And this telegram comes at 11:30 at night. My mother can't figure out what's going on. She's in tears. My sister's there. She calls, can't get through to the base because my dad's on lockdown. So she finally figures out how to get to the base. Calls Dad. Dad says our good friend John Spencer come up and take his place. Dad comes home. He reads this, and he is pacing back and forth, wondering, what the hell does this mean? It says,
Secretary of the Army.
Yeah, yes.
Secretary of the Army asked me to inform you that your son, Chief Warrant Officer Jeffrey Carr, was
wounded in action in Vietnam on 14 November 1970 while commander of a military aircraft on a combat operation when the aircraft was fired upon by a hostile ground force. The aircraft did not crash or burn. Father noted that with great delight. He received a wound to the right leg with femoral artery involvement and a flesh wound to the left thigh. He has been placed on the seriously ill list, and in the judgment of the attending physician, his condition is of such severity that there is cause for concern but no imminent danger to life. Please be assured that the best medical facilities and doctors have been made available and every measure is being taken to aid him, blah, 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 blah.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
now, my father could not figure out what the hell this meant, because what the telegram should have said is, your son's been shot in the leg. If we can't save his leg, we might cut it off, but he's not going to die. And that would have been much better than, instead of this military medical jargon, my dad waited all night and then woke up the flight surgeon the next day at 7 o'clock in the morning. Read
What
this
the fuck does this mean?
Air Force flight surgeon. And he said, I'm in the Air Force, Bill. I don't know what this means.
These Army fuckers can't even spell right. There was 3 words misspelled. Well,
so my father, undeterred, says, I'm going to get to the bottom of this, figures out the time difference between Canton and Duluth, and goes up to the base at night, gets on the military, calls Maxwell Air Force Base, and starts the leapfrog across the country, trying to get to, and of course he just doesn't explain what he's doing. He just wants to go to Canton. He says in 2 nights, he thinks he may have talked to Ho Chi Minh himself, but he never got anywhere close to Canto. He's
Another show title. He may have talked to Ho Chi Minh himself.
So on the third night, this is my mother tells a story. On the third night, he undeterred. He tries it again, and this time the woman at Maxwell Air Force Base recognizes his voice and the uniqueness of the call to Canto. Didn't you call last night, sir? Yes. And the night before? Yes. Okay. Well, what are you trying to achieve? Only then does my dad say, I'm trying to get a hold of my son. He's in the hospital in Canto. And she said, well, why didn't you say so the first time? They elevated this call to something called flash precedence.
Well, that sounds more important than just
Right on. Yeah.
Come on.
White House staff gets that type of
Okay.
that's what they said. So now when the call goes from Duluth to Chicago stays on board and makes sure that that the connection is solid. And then they do this double all the way across Hawaii, all the way in Saigon, Canto, third surge, intensive care unit, phone rings. The phone is out at the nurse's station, but it's live at the doorway. Now this is a Quonset hut, so it's at the doorway. So as it turns out, the phone rings. I look, in comes my doctor, the naturalized citizen from Iran. He picks up the phone. There's some conversation. Behind him comes Chaplain Koza.
Oh shit!
Who's assigned, and there's God bless that man. Oh, that is the best. That picture's in the New Jersey Herald newspaper. That oh gosh, that's another story. So I see Chaplain Koza get a big smile on his face, and he starts to scurry down to my bed, and so he's taking the IV bottles off the stands and plugging them in the holes of this World War II metal bed, breaks the brakes loose, and got to get to the phone. The phone's not coming to me. So my dad is running toward the phone in the bed. And so my dad is talking to the good doctor with the broken English, and he says, well, can I talk to my son? I said, yes, the chaplain is wheeling his bed to the phone now. And my dad's going, Chaplain. The only thing my dad could think of was last rites.
Right.
Right? That's all. Oh, geez, Chaplain. So your dad's on the phone, he says with great delight. I said, Dad? He goes, Jeff? Hi, Dad. How are you? God damn it, son. How the hell are you? Just, oh, gosh. I'm good, Dad. I'm fine. Yeah, I'm good. So 3 days, 3 nights for him. He tries to makes a personal phone call to Canto to talk to his son.
That poor guy. Wow.
Oh,
okay,
man.
is that the
it could be.
Yeah,
it looks like it is.
CAMTHO. The bottom left.
Yeah.
The 67th.
Well, you probably didn't get a chance to get up and walk around much and get a lay of the land, so we're gonna have to go by this is what they probably look
yeah. No, they dropped me into the H on the concrete. That's how I got there. No, not the front door. Not the front door. No.
So bad word. That's amazing.
So now here's the best part of the story. So Chaplain Koza comes early, and he every day he comes by, and he looks at my chart, recognizes that this is a pretty unusual surgery for a field hospital, and he comes over to chat me up, and we have a nice discussion, and I'm telling him how blessed I am to have Dr. Haravi. It's got to be a good doctor, blah blah blah, and it's my 22nd birthday, and
22nd birthday.
He comes over and he talks to me, and he puts his hand on my hand, and he says, did you ever stop to think that someone might have been guiding the surgeon's hands?
Yeah, right.
Now I'm 22.
Like,
I'm a gunship pilot. My job is to kill.
That stuff. Where's the Playboy Club?
What do you mean? You say like, what do you mean, Doc? Like
kill them all, and the easy ones twice. And I did not view it as God's work.
Yeah.
That's for
Shit,
sure.
no.
And I don't know what to be honest, I don't recall. I recall the question. I don't recall whatever answer I gave, but I certainly did not think that there was anything holy about what I did for a living. But that question never left me. Never left me. And when I'm asked for my testimony, it begins with that question from Chaplain Koza.
That's the chaplain's job.
So
Yeah.
I find him, same closing the circle. This is actually, he was before Dr. Harabi. And I find him in probably 2011 or so. And I call him up and he comes to the phone. He's 80, in his late 80s. And we have a brief discussion. He said, well, let's keep in touch. I said, that's fine. Hurricane Sandy hits the next day. He has no power. And so I write him a letter and I send it to him. And I basically just tell him, that I can't fix all the mistakes I've made in my life. But I can go forward and be the best example of a Christian man I can be for those days I have left. And I thank you for that. And that was basically the gist of the letter. Well, that letter became famous in North New Jersey, unbeknownst to me. 5 years later, I get a phone call. We're going to celebrate Chaplain Koza on this date. Would you and your wife come as our guests? And because he's told everyone about this letter. So we go, and we're honored to be there. And that picture of he and I is me walking across the stage after the master of ceremonies read the letter to everyone in the crowd. There's about 200 people there, and newspapers and the television were there, because he is a legend. When he retired from the military, he opened up drug counseling for veterans. There's buildings named after him. He was a spearhead for an army cemetery to come to North New Jersey because the demand was so great. He's just an amazing guy. And we had a meal at his house, and he leaned over to me and said, I never thought I'd live long enough to see you.
Oh shit!
And I said, well, I'm glad you lived long enough for me to see you. And
I'm glad I lived long to see you.
and then he, because his family, I told Peter, his family was just very effusive with their thanks. It was almost off-putting. It was just, I didn't get it. I didn't understand. I'm thinking it's a letter. I meant it, but no, it wasn't just a letter. He said to me, I never knew what happened to any of you. You were there for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then you're gone. I have no idea. Right?
Yeah.
And so if you're a seed planter, the analogy I like to use, if you're a seed planter and 45 years later a tree shows up that you planted the seed for, validates your entire existence.
Right.
So the lesson, as far as I'm concerned, is when you get that nudge, follow through. I got it on a Friday afternoon. I wonder if Chaplain Koza is still on the planet. And it all mushroomed from there.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's good. And then, so I get to Fort Riley, Kansas, which is the closest active duty Army hospital to my home, a mere 735 miles away. Yeah. So, yeah.
Only 735 miles from Duluth, right?
That's right.
Oh.
That's right. Yeah. And so I spent 6 months there, and then another 14 months in physical therapy to make sure that they do the best they could. I left with a brace on my lower right leg that was spring-loaded to aid, to make sure I didn't stub my toes at every forward step. The brace was hinged and spring-loaded so that when my toe came off, the heel snapped down with the spring, and so I could hit heel on the next step. And
Okay.
No bones, right? No bones were
tibia
broken.
tibia was broken, and they didn't catch it until I got to Fort Riley, Kansas. So they had to bend it. They had to bend it and put it in the cast.
Oh, so Dr. Robbie's a quack. He couldn't even fix you. All right.
No.
It was the vascular. It was the vascular. It was not broken.
Yeah.
It was not broken. It was
like
it was
like
cracked.
a
Fractured.
yeah,
But it was
so the
not-
bullet probably just grazed off of that crack and cracked.
Must-
Cracked.
yeah.
Cracked.
It-
So no splint, no bone. I was thinking, oh my God, Bub.
Yeah,
through
shattered bone.
through
And,
the behind your knee, talking bones.
No, pretty fortunate. No, I spent a lot of time in a cast, but I was in a cast. The skin graft area was so large that they basically put me in a long leg cast, leg to protect the tibia, and then they cut the plaster out over the over the skin graft, and then they could treat that topically with cocoa butter and things like that to soften the scar tissue.
They didn't use foreskin or anything like that for the.
I don't think so. I was asleep at the time.
Were you circumcised before you were wounded in combat? That's all I need.
I'm not going to tell you stories about how long the saphenous vein scar is. And somebody might have at the pool might have told a story about having to have one's prehensile appendage removed because of a flash electrical fire in a cockpit.
Yes,
Something along those lines, and it's just above the knee, and to impress the pool attendees.
oh, man.
Well, I'm sure when you were walking around Minnesota after, carrying your 38 air medals and dragging the giant testicles that you had, it made a lot of noise. So you probably got a lot of attention when you
well, when I did get back after my first tour, this is another stupid thing. We weren't officers. So I'm not going to tell my family. I'm going to surprise them.
Oh,
There we go.
Okay.
So
sounds like a good way to get shot.
Travis Air Force Base, and worked my way through the idiots that were there trying to interdict us, as we say. And so the Army travel people are going. I go from Travis to Los Angeles,
Riley, Kansas.
I'm on my way after my first tour. I'm coming home because I got wounded in the second tour. So after my first tour,
I'm sorry, I missed
traveled-
all that.
yeah, it's a detail, just a detail. And so I get to Chicago to Minneapolis, and I'm on the first flight to Duluth. And I get into Duluth, and I call, and my dad's in the base, and the Air Force base is here, the commercial base is here, the Air National Guard base is on the other side. So I call up John Larson, who's the head NCO, and I said, I'm here. He says, stay right there. He says, you got any bags? I said, yeah, I got a duffel bag. He said, drag it back out to the commercial side. And he sends
Officers carry their bags.
I could at this point in time.
Officers carry their bags, sir.
That's right. And so he just came down the runway in the mobile truck and picked me up and took me back to the base. And then we waited for my father to show up for work, and I was sitting in his chair when he showed up. Yeah. Could have given the man a heart attack. I mean, it's the dumbest thing.
Yeah,
ever.
sure.
Just dumb. Yeah.
Fantastic.
So two
Good for
tours.
you.
Second tour was when you got wounded. When? How far into the second tour?
About 3 months. So to be honest, we had the opportunity to extend our tour 6 months at a time. So you could stay right where you were and extend. So we were, again, another opportunity for this very smart warrant officer to beat the Army at its own game. Okay? So you extend your tour for 6 months, you get a 30-day leave.
Did they call it terminal leave?
Not at that point in time, because we were already deployed. So then you extend for another 6 months, and you get another 30-day leave. Well, we had it all figured out.
So they dangled it, right? So you save it up to the end.
I got to the 3 weeks into the 3 months into the the first extension, and my flight career ended unceremoniously.
The house always wins.
Have you flown a helicopter since?
Twice. My wingman on that fateful day was in the National Guard in Lincoln, Nebraska, and he gave me one of his. And so Lincoln is not far from Fort Riley. So when I'm mobile, I bought a car. I'd go up Highway 77 to Lincoln, and we would behave badly all weekend. And then when he had drill weekend, then I gave me his uniform and his hat and his gloves, and two of us went out and flew over the cornfields in Nebraska.
No, you didn't.
I know that's hard for you to believe.
I love that.
We did.
Outstanding.
That's probably my favorite part of the whole damn story. And you weren't even going to tell it. I think I had to drag that at you.
Well, I just don't know what the statute of limitations is. That's just got to make.
I think you're good.
Yeah,
I think
probably,
you're good.
it was just last week.
That is a great story.
That is fantastic.
Oh, good stuff. All good stuff. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so
indeed.
much for sharing with us. And here's how it goes. And I'm not joking. You and I will talk about this on Saturday. You're gonna say, after we quit talking, I thought of 7 more things I should have said. And you know what? That's what a reattack is for.
You're gonna come back and
just
reattack.
just make bullet points, and we'll have you for like a top off. Is that cool?
Yeah.
That'd be fine. That'd be fine.
That would be
If you give me one plug, give me time for one plug. I went on an honor flight in September of last year. I did not want to go. I thought there were people far more deserving than me that should have gone, and I didn't control that schedule. And I went. I did ask the good Lord, where can I serve? Give me an opportunity. I don't need what's coming. This is my perception.
Right.
I walk in the door at the airport 5:30 in the morning at the MCI, and I told Pete this, and in comes Kathy in a wheelchair with no guardian, no escort. Here's my opportunity. I say to my escort, you take care of this guy, I'll take care of Kathy. And pushed her all over Washington, D.C. It was perfect, just exactly what I needed. But what surprised me was all that we received. We come into Reagan, A9 into Reagan, and I'm sitting on the aisle. I can't figure out where's the water coming from? I see water on the outside. We're going through the water Kansas Fire Department and had no idea. Somebody told those people in the A concourse that an honor flight was coming, and they got up out of their seats and made a row for us to walk through.
Yeah.
Well, for Vietnam vets, we don't get this. We've never got this.
I know.
It was really, I mean, people are looking around. They just don't know how to respond. You nod, you say thank you, but you're going, wow, this is pretty. And that continued all the way to the buses. On the way back, same thing. But when we got on the plane, I should, in fact, for those people who have not gone, I'll not share this. But because it's just too important, it's too meaningful an experience. So,
okay, leave a little something hanging.
Good. Yeah. So the point is, if you get a chance, there's 100 and some hubs, honor flight hubs in this country. Find one, put your name on the list, grab a granddaughter. I've saw plenty of those grandson, sons, daughters escorting the veterans on these honor flights.
Boy, that's a great idea.
Get them the recognition that they deserve before it's too late.
That is a fantastic idea.
That's awesome.
I have one last question, and then we kind of need to land the plane because we're right at 2 hours.
Oh, listen, I'm getting text. My phone is blowing up right now.
I know. It feels like 12 or 15 minutes in, but that's okay. Yeah,
I know. I feel like we've been talking
to this show. She will not be angry with you for hanging out here with us.
Oh, you've got somewhere to go. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but that's okay. What was the experience, at the risk of making you overly emotional? What was the experience like at the Vietnam Wall?
Oh,
That was a
the
neat.
first
That was
time.
Yeah.
No, the first. I've been many times. I'm in the mortgage. I was in the mortgage industry, and I was in the leadership. And every year we back in Washington D.C. from '96 to 2006. I was at that wall every time. But the first time, when you search, and there's names, hundreds of names, and a docent comes over, they recognize, we all look the same. I got gray hair, and we're all looking, and we're all anxious, and they say, "How can I help you?" And you tell them, "This is what I'm looking for," and they look them up, and they go, "Oh, W9107," and you look W9107. There's Andy Abramson. Les Tatarsky is my roommate. On the last panel, second tour, Flying Chinooks, dies in October of 1975. One of the last. One of the last. Ronnie Van Landingham. Yeah. Married, kids.
Yeah.
The unfairness of, but their names jumped out at me like they were 12 feet high. It was.
Isn't that something?
It's it's the most personal memorial there is. The something is always left. A poem stuck in the wall, a punch bowl. Nobody knows why. Nobody knows who. But there's a punch bowl. There's a fully restored Harley Davidson motorcycle rolled up there and left.
Yeah. It is
right.
It
Somebody's dream.
most,
Somebody's dream that was not fulfilled. Somebody did it for him. What do we do with it?
Yeah.
Bring it to the wall. There's a warehouse full.
I would say that that is the single most powerful experience I've ever had in my life with regards to a memorial anywhere. Walking up to that wall, it was just overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I think I'll be better each time I go. I think I can do this. I can do, but I can't. I can't, and I probably never. There he is. There he is. That's less. He died in June. His son was born in May, and so for my survivor guilt, self-care. Right? I looked up his son, tracked his son down. Son didn't know much about his dad, but over time, I've gathered enough information and shared with his son Rob. And it's just been an honor to be able to sit down. We've met him, had a nice weekend with him in Jacksonville, and get a chance to sit down and tell him what an awesome man his father was. And that's a privilege.
Yes, it is.
What an awesome man you are, Mr. Carr. Thank you.
I can't wait to meet you in person.
Honored, right? I'm so jealous. I am so jealous.
Well,
Sadly,
your wings did move.
No.
That's the problem. Your wings did move.
Right.
I know, right?
You guys keep it up.
We have to land the airplane.
You keep it up.
But you're coming back. This isn't goodbye. This is until next time. So, but
write down bullets of the things that you said. Oh, I should, because
exactly.
we'll reattack.
The ones that start with.
Go ahead.
There I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. All of them start that way. Jeff Carr, thank you for your service. God bless you. Thank you for closing the loop for those gentlemen who now know that their life meant something more than just, patching up kids in a field hospital and trying to make their day a little better. They made your life a little better, and more than you. I'm certain of that. So that's a big damn deal.
Big damn deal.
Thank you to all. Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah. Thank you to also to the families like your dad, who sat up night after night after night, just tearing their hair out, trying to find out how their boys are doing in the hospital. And to the wives and the mothers and the children of the veterans, especially those who didn't make it back. You sacrificed, and we're grateful to you for that. We're free because of those sacrifices. So We've got a couple more thank yous here.
How
Fred.
about let's say thanks to Dave Hamilton at backbeatmedia.com for giving us the bandwidth to do this thing and the guidance from, because, well, if it wasn't for Dave helping you tell me,
none of this would happen.
This thing would be still an idea, right?
Exactly. That's exactly right. So, yeah, indeed. We got other thank yous, and we need to get out there. There are three in particular this week, and I noticed just a moment ago, I noticed he's online. Eric Fletcher. I don't know that we ever gave him a call sign. He was a pilot for quite a while. He's up over $140 so far, and he just switched from pilot to division lead to a $15 a month donation.
How could you not call a guy named Fletcher Fletch?
You have to, right? Chevy Chase, Fletch. It's there. So Fletch, yeah.
Fletch, we're seriously questioning your judgment, and
your financial judgment is in question.
We are totally humbled, and our thank you doesn't really do it, but thank you.
Yeah, thank you indeed. We're humbled.
Because this isn't. It costs money to put this damn thing on, and who knew?
Yeah. Huh. And then we got a double thank you to the Badass. Oh, Eric Fletcher has his own theme song. Okay, yeah, that's true. Badass cracked his wallet. In addition to cracking open his camera film and giving us pictures to use, Badass threw $25 at us. So we questioned your judgment, sir.
We need to have a talk with him. He has lost his mind.
Yeah.
But thanks, Badass.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. Unnecessary, but greatly appreciated. Baytar,
another Vietnam vet. $200. What were you thinking?
Right?
Oh my God! Thank you. We're humbled. Tanker aircraft commander level, Baytar. The albino Rio. Oh man. And then, of course, all evening long, Sticks and Bago have been throwing up photos that I couldn't have found on my best day of web search.
I mean, Jeff uttered one syllable, and there was a picture up. It was like, that's freaky. These guys are insane, and they're awesome. We're gonna have to give them a raise.
Right? Exactly right. Okay, we're going to double your salary. You're going to get 0 times 2 is what, Phil?
You guys are awesome. Thank you for hanging with us.
You really are. And then, oh man, then I think there was one more. Oh, we have the merch store. So there was.us/merch. Go get yourself a hat, a T-shirt, a bikini.
We may be out of bikini season in the northern hemisphere, but hey, we're rolling into bikini season in the southern hemisphere.
Down under.
That's right. And we have some listeners down under. Check it out. So there I was .us/merch. Get that bikini.
Yep. And then go give us 5 stars. So there was.us/rate. Don't give us 4 stars, man. I'm going to have Cobra-31 hunt you down and put a rocket up your ass. So
fed 40 millimeter grenades, for fuck's sake. That'll ruin your day. Hey, seriously, if you can't give us 5 stars, we're fucking trainable. Tell us what we need to do to make it 5. We'll make it 5.
Absolutely. And then, of course, the last 2 that need to be thanked. Not one, but dos.
The gringos. The 2 F-16 pilots that make the Air Force sound good. I threw up a little in my mouth when I say that every time, but they do make the Air Force sound good.
They do indeed.
4 albums, not a bad song on any one of them, and they're 2 outstanding human beings as well.
They are indeed. In spite of being in the Air Force, they are.
Yeah, besides being in the Air
Force.
That's right.
And there's 2 more fabulous human beings, Dr.
Look
Haradi
at that shit.
And Jeff Carr.
I tell you what,
Chaplain Cosa.
I shed some bodily fluids tonight on several of these stories and pictures.
Yeah, choked up. It's a big deal.
It's fucking great.
All right. Well, until next week, everybody, stay safe and don't sit on the collective.
Don't sit on the collective.
Well, there I was, crossing the pond, and you could see that I wasn't exactly fond. of all the shit I was wearing on that day. Now an F-16 is cramped enough, but it's even worse with all that stuff supposed to save your life. But we knew there was no way. 'Cause when you're going down the North Atlantic, man, it's over.
Hold on. It's what?
He said it's over.
Where the hell have you been, soldier?
Training, sir!
What kind of training, son?
Army training, sir!
And we are out. Boom. All right. 2 hours, 10 minutes, 3 seconds.
I'm in
Love
deep shit.
You're in
I am
deep
in
shit. Go
such
get it,
deep
brother.
Shit.
Yeah. Just blast off. I'm gonna
Thank
end the
you,
stream
Bago.
right here. Let
Thank
me
you,
do that.
Sticks.
Everybody, I gotta end the stream
Anytime.
so Fig can upload.